Like to talk about today is the music model. James, can you do the clicking? Thank you. So the music model today is a theory for motivating students to perform to their fullest potential. How in an academic situation we're able to help them fulfill through intrinsic motivation. So we see here that there's empowerment for M, usefulness for U, S is for success, I is for interest, and C is for care. In my previous blog that I did last week, I covered the first two. So that was empowerment and usefulness. And this week, what I want to focus on is success. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a really brief overview of empowerment and usefulness. Empowerment is being able to give the student control. I want you to think about the classrooms that you have been in when you were a student yourself. When you had a teacher that was telling you this is the way to do it, this is how you do it, and this is how much time you have to do it, how successful were you in that class? How motivated were you to perform to your full potential? However, when you had a teacher that would say to you, this is the problem we have, go off with a group of students and discuss it. I'm here to help support you and give you ideas, and here's the resources you can use. Were you motivated more then? That's the theory behind empowerment, is that you have the control over your own learning. Usefulness is that the material that you're given to learn from, you can see as being beneficial to you as an individual and to your future career and to your future development. So if you're doing maths and you're studying trigonometry or anything else like that, is that going to affect the future of you? Are you motivated to learn it and really internalize it if you don't really care about it past the exam that you're about to take? So they're the two concepts that I talked about last week, and you can read them in my last blogs, but we're going to talk about success now. Okay, so success. A student needs to feel they have the ability to succeed. So this ability needs to be felt, and they also need to feel that they have the potential to succeed. Research was carried out where students were asked about how they feel about success, whether they think it's an ability or whether they feel it's something inherent. People that found it inherent didn't try hard because they felt like they were already going to fail, so what's the point in trying? However, students that felt there was an ability that could be developed tried harder in their studies and consequently achieved more in their academic successes. So this ability that we see that we're able to develop and have is really important for us in our motivational sense of trying harder to be the best that we can be through the things that we do. So right now I want to talk about what factors promote that success, that feelings of success that we're able to have. Because if in the student environment we're able to help them feel we all can succeed, that will mean that all students will be motivated to work harder towards that and not feel like it's just an inherent ability that you're born with. James? Okay, so workload is the first step. When we're in our classes, we need to be given a unique workload for ourselves. I put in the Khan picture here as something that I want to talk about, because in the Khan Academy, a student is stretched to their own individual challenges. They are able to go on there and work through it quickly to get to a pace where they're challenged to succeed themselves. So they'll have to master each step as they go through. With that, you are not put in a classroom where you each have to go to a certain curriculum level, because a teacher can only teach to 30 students at a time, so you work to the level that the teacher is teaching to. That will restrict the level of success that each student has. Whereas if they're given an individual basis to learn on, such as the workload in the Khan Academy, they are able to work harder and to their own attainments and what they're able to achieve themselves. So it's really important that we give them those desirable difficulties, that we give them the things that they uniquely are challenged upon, and that they, through that, intellectually develop. They become the best they can be through the workload they're given individually for them. James? Okay, confidence is a really important second step. This diagram at the bottom here is something that I found on the internet to define how we achieve that confidence and how it comes about. I think it's really important as I talk about success, and as you've looked at the previous two and as I go on with the future blogs that I give, to think about how it continually promotes confidence in a student. The student is given an opportunity to set their own goals, as I talked about from examples from the Khan Academy. they're motivated to do it. They gain success as they're motivated, as they set their own goals, and then they achieve that, which gives them more confidence. So it's really important that the students are given these challenges, that they individually are challenged to increase their confidence. This is done also through metacognition. We've talked a lot in our classes about metacognition. There's a lot of blogs on metacognition, but it's students knowing what they can achieve and working on the things that they have the difficulties with so that they're able to do better, able to progress through the things that they're doing. When they become confident in their abilities, they're more confident in challenging themselves and doing things that maybe they can't do in the beginning because they know that they've progressed through the steps in other things. So this is one other step that's really important to becoming successful. Okay, so we have confidence, but that's not always in every single student that we have in the classroom. We each have those individual characteristics that maybe some have more confidence than others. So how is it that we can promote this in a realistic way in the classroom is what I want to talk about next. And this is done through many different ways. But I want to focus on just 2 steps here that I think are realistic things that we can do in the classrooms today, in different modules that will help students become more confident and will promote more success. So the first is small group teaching, and the second is effective feedback. And I want to talk about that one step at a time. Thank you, James. Okay, so small group work. Diagrams at the bottom are always the best to look at. I want you to look at them, compare yourselves when you've been in the different classes that promote this. The class where you have the teacher, as you can see on the right-hand side to you, talking to them. They have an interactive view, so you see laptops open. They're able to discuss things. As they're doing that, there's a few key fun things that are happening here. As they actively discuss, they're talking about new ideas. Original ideas are coming into the classroom. They become more confident as they hear others speak out. As they speak about the concepts and ideas that they have, they'll receive positive feedback from the class members. And as they talk about a different concept or idea, they will see from their suggestions that they've made that advances the learning in the small group, that their suggestion will help others to develop more through their ideas. So that will increase their confidence in what they're learning. However, in the other group, which we have throughout universities and classrooms, we all focus at the front. We all listen to what the person at the front is saying, and they're the person with all the right answers. There's no confidence in that because we're not really learning from each other. We're not really challenging ourselves to develop. So the first step we need is small group work. We need to give students the opportunity to talk amongst one another and to see that the ideas that students have promote learning. James? The next one is feedback. We all receive feedback, and there's one really important thing that I want to emphasize with this feedback, because I think sometimes we go to these lectures and we have an hour of just feedback. And if anyone's like me, we're sitting there for the first 10 minutes and we're like, okay, I've heard what I want to hear and now I'm bored. And the rest of the feedback is irrelevant to me. And that demotivates us to learning and trusting in the feedback we're given. We don't trust in the future lectures where we just receive feedback because we think, I'm just going to be bored. Is there any point in attending this lecture? So the feedback we're given, we should have the freedom to decide how much we receive. How much is it that we need in our lives as a person? Because our education is individual for ourselves. Research was done to show that those that are given the freedom to decide on their feedback have a greater success in their academic learning and realize their potential through the things that they do and are able to achieve more through that. So it's important that we give students the decisions to choose how much feedback they want. And it's also important that we help students to realize that it will increase their future learning and their future development. That it's not just something given to them just to correct the wrong answers. Okay, these are the steps we need to accomplish success. Success is not just accomplished through the structure of university as it is through the structure of learning. Success is achieved through developing the inward individual, through helping them see their potential and motivating them through that. So to summarize, I want to focus on 2 last steps that I want you to remember when you're thinking about success. Grades do not determine what success is. Grades is only a way to categorize who we are. When we think about, okay, what have I got in this? Is it a good grade? Are we really motivated to do better in that next one? Or are we motivated to do the right thing for the teacher to achieve the best we can achieve in the teacher's eyes? And if we do it like that, is that really success, or are we just ticking the right box as we do it? So grades is not the way to do it. We need to promote confidence in the individual. We need to help them through feedback. We need to give them small group learning. We need to help them open their mouths as they learn and to trust in the things that they say. That's how success is born in a student. It's not born through the giving of a grade and discouraging people that get low grades and encouraging people that get high grades. It separates the classes and just categorizes the students. And the second thing is that students need to be treated on an individual basis. No longer can we say we've got a class of 30 students and they'll all achieve this same standard by the end of the year, but they need to be promoted to do the best they can do. That is how creativity will be born in the students, because they'll realize their strengths and they'll be motivated to go further in it than their teachers will push them. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Go ahead.
So you say, like, if there's a teacher at the front teaching to 30 students, then they'll only be going at the teacher's pace.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, you just gave a talk there for 10 minutes, and I'm sure everybody here got a very different impression and made different connections within the talk.
Yep.
So, like, don't you think that even though you're giving the information, people can interpret it in different ways?
That will happen. However, if you look at the style of this talk now and look at what's happening with the questioning, you're having the chance to vocalize your perspective, your opinions, which will strengthen everyone else's opinions, help them develop their understanding. I think that we always need to respect the experts in the field and listen to what they have to say. Jess Martin knows a lot more about this subject than anyone else in this class. Having said that, we have our own opinions, and as we share them, we'll have a look at different perspectives. We've looked at different research than what he's looked at, just because there's more of us to look at it. So as we develop that, and as we're allowed to share our opinions afterwards, listen to the academic opinions of the experts, and then challenge it, and then have the opportunity to go through small group work, we learn through other people's opinions, through expressing it, and through the challenges that arise from that, and our own in-depth learning by ourselves in that.